You know, recently I launched this video right here where we actually talked about the best statue of every single X-Men character. And it got me thinking, what about the other Marvel characters? I don't know, Mr. X, what about them? That's what we're going to do right now. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Extreme channel. Today we're doing another segment in a series we started recently where we take a group of characters and we say, of every one of these characters, what's the best statue that's been made? Some of these I own. The goal would be to own them all. Some of them I have owned in the past. Some I've never owned, but I would love to. So in that previous video, we covered X-Men and X-Men villains. Today, we're going to cover Marvel characters. Now, I have done a few videos in the past where we specifically looked at a group of characters. So for example, I've owned like 40 Venom statues, so we've looked at the best one, and we are going to cover that again because there are newer Venom statues. But just look at one instead of counting them all down. I've done Hulk statues as well, which obviously that'll fall into other Marvel. And just like last time, we're clearly not going to cover every Marvel character. I was originally going to do Avengers, but then I got to a few characters in the Avenger line, like Hawkeye, or even some one-offs like Quicksilver, where it's like there's either no statues or only one or two choices. So for most of these, there's at least 2, if not 30 or 50 different options for that particular character. But let's start looking at Avengers, and again, we're not going to cover them all because I think that's a good starting point. So first is Hulk. Now, in my opinion, I believe the best Hulk statue ever made, despite the fact owning about 40 different ones, is one I've never seen in person. It is Sideshow's OG Hulk. This is very, very classic Kirby. What the original Hulk was, I absolutely love this statue. I would love to own it someday. But I think there are some other statues that come very close. While I'm generally only going to pick one for every single character, there might be a few runner-ups or ones that are close. I think this one that I actually have coming in the next week or so, you may have already seen a video on it, is potential to not beat that necessarily, but match that OG Sideshow. Also, I think the XM transformation, because of the Bruce in front of it, is pretty badass as well. Other Avengers. I looked at Captain America, but there's honestly very few statues of Captain I like, despite there being a decent amount of choices. Same with Black Widow. Thor was a lot tougher than I thought. I really like a dynamic Thor. The winner to me was the 1/3 scale by XM Studios. The sculpt is amazing by XM Studios and LBS, and the base tells such a cool story. This is the best Thor in my opinion, despite some other dynamic cool options. Not a ton of Vision statues out there, but I do really like this custom I briefly owned. I actually sold it to JB, my grandfather, right before he came in, so I did a review, then gave it to JB. I should have kept it because its value has like doubled. Iron Man, probably arguably the toughest character to say what is the best Iron Man statue for so many reasons. They make amazing 1/6 Hot Toys, they make life-size busts, they make life-size statues. I own this one and have more coming, believe it or not. The best Iron Man statue, I have to go with Queen Studios Hulkbuster. Not only do I think the Hulkbuster looks absolutely amazing, but I think the Iron Man itself, the Mark VI that comes with that, is awesome as well. Probably the best version of Mark VI. Now keep in mind that is a comic-related version, not an MCU. But like I said, I have some life-size ones coming, actually full life-size, and then I have another Hulkbuster coming too. Some Avenger villains. Thanos, also another tough one. In my opinion, it's actually a tie. I love XM Thanos. I think it's absolutely amazing. Their newer one with Lady Death here, one of the best Thanos statues, but it might be tied by this custom on throne. I actually own 3 Thanos on thrones because they're all so very good. So this is a very tough category to decide, but I do give it to one of those two. Loki, another tough one that I had to pick a tie. One is MCU, one is comics. So the MCU, I chose Queen Studios' original life-size bust. I own this. Absolutely amazing piece. I do miss it. I think it's better than the one they replaced it with by far. I think most people do. A comic Loki on throne, like this guy right here, is also arguably one of the best Loki statues ever made. And there's a lot of great Loki statues, not only on throne, but in general. So moving away from Avengers, to an extent, because it seems like everybody was on the Avengers at one time, I want to talk about Silver Surfers, my favorite character. While I always talk about this statue right here, saying it's my favorite statue, it's the best Silver Surfer statue, I think it goes to a tie to a statue I've never owned, probably will never own, but this right here, this is considered a grail to many people, and I can see why. So I think this ties that statue as well. I would love to own both someday, but I don't want to pay the high price tag. And speaking of Silver Surfer, I think there's enough Galactus statues out there. There's about 5 or 6. I can still confidently say Sideshow's OG Galactus is unbeatable. Not unbeatable, but it hasn't been beat. This is definitely the best Galactus statue out there, in my opinion. In that same line, talking about powerful cosmic villains, we have to talk about Doctor Doom. So many great Doctor Doom statues out there. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think this custom on throne is the best right here, which blows my mind. Now, I still own both of them that are in this picture, but this one I'm pointing to, I think, is the best Doctor Doom statue, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. Now, one that I had on order that I canceled that is probably going to end up being the number one is this one right here. Now, I canceled it because I ordered it before I knew what it looked like, and I was able to cancel it, and then they actually made it, and now I have huge regrets. Staying within Marvel, let's talk about Ghost Riders. So I've owned a number of Ghost Rider statues, again, all amazing, but I think the best one is this custom right here because of the light-up feature. So I don't own this one, but it's absolutely amazing. That light-up feature is what really puts it over the top. Staying in that same lines, Daredevil. A lot of great Daredevil statues, both custom and licensed, and I've owned quite a few. But I think the best Daredevil statue will be one that's actually in production right now, is this yellow-suited one. Not only for the base itself, but I just love the pose and the poise of this amazing Matt Murdock. Venoms are incredibly difficult for me. Now, it's definitely one of my newer Venoms. I'm going to have to go with this winged Venom because you can display it with or without the wings. But I have some other Venoms coming in. I think that will top this awesome, awesome piece. And as a runner-up, I'm going to throw this crazy dynamic Venom in. If you remember when I did the video, I didn't think this was that amazing, but every single day that I look at it, it gets cooler and cooler. One more Venom, just for shits and giggles. This King Venom I've never owned. Looks absolutely amazing. Has a really high price tag on the secondary market, which is why I don't own it. But badass for sure. Spider-Man's also a tough one because there's probably about 50 Spider-Man options. Now, I'm going to do a tie as well. One is one I don't own anymore. It's the OG Sideshow Comiquette. Other than being a little overscaled, absolutely amazing piece, and it pairs so well with so many different statues. But I really like this Spider-Man statue. I think this is equal to it just due to the ambition. And shit, since there's so many Spider-Mans, I think, or do you call them Spider-Men? I don't know. I'm going to pick a third one. This symbiote transformation just blew me away. I don't have a spot for it, yet I have it displayed like behind some other statues because I could not let it go. Talking about Spider-Man and symbiotes, there's tons of Carnage options out there. And I've actually done a countdown of looking at which Carnage is best. Now those, I still think that custom one was best, but I think it was recently beat by this custom right here. Absolutely amazing. Kind of goes along that King Venom that we actually looked at earlier. So those are the big Marvel characters that are made into statues. It's highly likely I forgot some, so throw that down in the comments below. We're super close to 30,000 subs, and that could get you into winning a statue. I think they'll be Marvel statues. No, one Marvel, one DC. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned. We're going to do DC next, probably in a week or two. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification. In the meantime, if you could just drop me a like, it helps me so much feel better about myself so I don't cry.